Did you miss me?
Newcastle's transfer strategy is getting interesting. Today we'll find out what's next for Yankuba Minteh as his agent confirms terms have been agreed with other clubs.
This is the worst bit. I hate this bit. This is the worst bit.
Find out what's happening with Dominic Calvert-Lewin's potential move to Newcastle. We'll also discuss Newcastle United's player plus cash offer for Wolves defender. Break down a potential move for Callum Wilson away from Newcastle United, plus who's the left-sided centre-back Newcastle United has recently signed. Join us as we uncover the latest Newcastle United news. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you won't want to miss a single moment of this incredible journey.
Psych!
Starting off in a significant move to bolster their attacking options, Newcastle United were said to be pushing ahead with a deal to sign Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, one of the club's long-standing transfer targets. According to reports from various reliable sources, Newcastle's interest in the 27-year-old striker was first revealed back in 2021, and the Magpies had now reignited their pursuit of the player this summer. With only 1 year remaining on Calvert-Lewin's contract at Everton, and the Merseyside club facing well-documented issues with profit and sustainability rules compliance, the player was believed to be keen on a move to Tyneside. This situation was likely to force Everton to sell the forward, and Newcastle were in pole position to secure his signature, should a deal be struck. Various reliable pieces stated that Calvert-Lewin was keen on a move to Tyneside and would ignore any contract offer from Goodison Park in a bid to push through a move to St James's Park, with Newcastle in pole position to seal a deal. Although a fee was yet to be agreed, talks were said to be advancing, and it's believed there was a confidence a deal would be struck, with Eddie Howe believing the target man would score more goals in his attack-minded Newcastle side after 8 last season on Merseyside. Despite Calvert-Lewin's recent injury problems, he managed to feature in 38 games for Everton last season, and Newcastle felt confident that he would score significantly more than the 8 goals he registered in the previous campaign, in a more attacking setup under Eddie Howe. The England international's physical attributes were seen as the ideal complement to Newcastle's current first-choice striker, Alexander Isak, and the two could even play together due to Calvert-Lewin's aerial prowess and hold-up play. Everton were reportedly expressing interest in a potential swap deal involving Dominic Calvert-Lewin as part of negotiations for Yankuba Minteh. However, in a recent dramatic twist, Newcastle United have now pulled out of talks to sign Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Newcastle had maintained a long-standing interest in Calvert-Lewin, but recent sources have revealed that the Magpies were stunned by Everton's refusal to lower their asking price for the 27-year-old striker, which was deemed excessively high. Negotiations had been ongoing for several weeks, with the possibility of Minteh signing for Everton as part of the discussions. Newcastle may revisit their interest in Calvert-Lewin later in the transfer window, but only if the asking price drops significantly from the current figure, which is well in excess of £40 million. This was considered unrealistic for a player with only 1 year remaining on his contract. Then moving on, astonishingly adding on to the German clubs that were earlier confirmed by Sky German to be interested in Minteh. A lot of clubs are coming in for the player in recent days. Recently, Gianluca Di Marzio reported that Roma has made an official inquiry, while L'Equipe are reporting that Brighton and Hove Albion are also pushing to sign Minteh, with Fabrizio Romano also recently claiming that Olympique Lyon have entered in the race to sign the player. Latest reports even saying that Lyon have offered more money for the Gambia international, and it now appears he will be making the move to France. To make matters interesting, in a huge development according to the player's agent, Yankuba Minteh has agreed terms with an unnamed club, following recent speculation surrounding the 19-year-old winger's future at Newcastle United. In an interview with the Chronicle, Minteh's agent Bakary Bojang confirmed that Newcastle are willing to sell the Gambian talent, provided they receive a good offer for the player. Bojang revealed that discussions are ongoing with interested parties, though he did not disclose the identities of the clubs involved. Speaking to the Chronicle, Minteh's representative said, "It is correct that Newcastle are willing to sell the player if they receive a good offer. From our side, if Newcastle wants to sell and the sporting project is good, we will definitely look at it. We are in communication with some clubs. I can't confirm clubs who are in communication with us. We have agreed terms with one of the clubs, so now the rest is with Newcastle." So while the specific details of the agreement with the unnamed club have not been disclosed, the agent's confirmation that terms have been reached suggests that a transfer could be imminent, pending Newcastle's decision on whether to accept the offer. was purchased by the Magpies last summer for just £6 million from Danish side Odense and immediately sent out on loan to Feyenoord for the 2023-24 campaign. As a 19-year-old, Minte was a difference maker for the Dutch side, tallying 10 goals and 5 assists in just under 1,500 Eredivisie minutes. And it's not just his goal scoring that is impressive. Minte is a speedster who was clocked as the fastest player in Holland last season at 34.9 kilometers per hour. The Gambian ranked in the 99th percentile in a host of categories for wingers playing outside of Europe's top 5 leagues, including non-penalty goals, progressive carries, successful take-ons, touches in the attacking penalty area, and progressive passes received. Personally, if the talented Yankuba Minte is indeed destined to depart St. James's Park on a permanent basis, a scenario that appears increasingly likely, my preference would be for him to secure a move to a French outfit such as Lyon or Marseille. Crucially, any such transfer should incorporate either a buyback option or a generous sell-on percentage, allowing Newcastle to potentially reacquire his services or at least capitalize financially on his future success. The notion of Minte joining a fellow Premier League rival, be it Everton or Brighton, is one that I firmly believe the Magpies should avoid at all costs. Similarly, a switch to Roma also raises concerns given the Italian club's new owner's established connections with Goodison Park, a situation that Newcastle would undoubtedly prefer to steer clear of. Furthermore, I'm not particularly enamored with the prospect of Minte joining Borussia Dortmund. The German powerhouse's renowned ability to develop young talents into world-class players means that if the Gambian prodigy were to move to Signal Iduna Park, he would almost certainly blossom into one of the most formidable wingers in Europe. As a Newcastle supporter, witnessing such a scenario unfold would undoubtedly be a source of immense frustration. As the summer transfer window progresses, the future of Yankuba Minte at Newcastle United will continue to be a topic of discussion, with the club's willingness to sell the highly rated young winger in order to meet financial regulations. Then in another development, in a bid to bolster their defensive line, Newcastle United have made a player plus cash offer for Wolverhampton Wanderers centre-back Max Kilman, but the proposal has been rejected by the Molineux club. According to reports from Telegraph Sport, the Magpies have proposed a deal that would see a cash sum plus the inclusion of homegrown midfielder Elliot Anderson. However, Wolves have turned down this offer, and it is believed that the current form of the deal does not interest the West Midlands side. Kilman, 27, has been a consistent performer for Wolves, playing a key role in the team's Premier League campaign last season under the management of Gary O'Neill. The English defender's impressive displays have also seen him on the fringes of the England national team setup in recent times. The rejection of Newcastle's offer comes as no surprise, as Wolves are under no immediate financial pressure to sell their prized asset. The club had previously turned down a bid of around £30 million from Napoli for Kilman last year, and subsequently convinced the player to sign a new long-term contract. Wolves are believed to value Kilman at more than £40 million, with the potential transfer fee further complicated by a significant sell-on clause, which was negotiated by his former club, non-league side Maidenhead United, when he was sold for just £40,000 back in 2018. For Newcastle, the pursuit of Kilman represents part of Eddie Howe's summer recruitment drive, as the Magpies manager looks to strengthen his defensive options ahead of the upcoming season. The club had been keen to secure the services of the Wolves defender. However, Wolves' unwillingness to accept the current player plus cash proposal means Newcastle will need to return with an improved offer if they are to have any chance of securing Kilman's signature. The Magpies may also face competition from other interested parties, with West Ham United and Manchester United both reportedly monitoring the situation. As the summer transfer window progresses, the battle for Kilman's services is likely to intensify, with Newcastle United determined to bolster their defensive line, but Wolves equally resolute in their stance to retain one of their key players. Intriguingly, just hours after, rumors had surfaced of Anderson potentially being included as part of a deal to bring Wolverhampton Wanderers prize defender Max Kilman to St. James's Park. As per the insights shared by Craig Hope, Elliot Anderson aspires to continue his journey with the club this summer. Furthermore, the narrative has taken a new turn, with news emerging that West Ham United have now escalated their pursuit of Kilman, submitting an improved offer after their initial proposal was rebuffed by Wolves. This begs the question, Have Newcastle been inadvertently utilized by Wolves and their media contacts as a means to compel West Ham to up their ante for the highly sought-after Kilman? Graham Bailey and the HITC also confirmed that during the talks over Kilman, Newcastle also asked Wolves about Pedro Neto, a player they have been a long-standing interest in. Then moving on, according to reports from TalkSport, Newcastle United are willing to consider cashing in on their experienced striker Callum Wilson during the upcoming summer transfer window. The 32-year-old, who joined the Magpies from Bournemouth in 2020 for around £20 million, has reportedly attracted interest from West Ham United as well as clubs in Saudi Arabia. With Wilson's contract set to expire at the end of the 2024-25 season, Newcastle may view this summer as the last opportunity to recoup a significant portion of the fee they paid for the striker. The report suggests that selling Wilson could help Newcastle manage their profit and sustainability rules, PSR issues, which require the club to balance their spending and income. Despite Wilson's impressive goal-scoring record for the Magpies, netting 48 times in 108 games, his playing time may become more limited next season. This is due to the potential arrival of new attacking targets on Newcastle manager Eddie Howe's transfer wish list. By cashing in on Wilson now, Newcastle could generate funds to reinvest in the squad and strengthen other areas of the team, while also complying with the league's financial regulations. While the decision to sell the experienced striker will not be taken lightly, the report indicates that Newcastle are willing to consider offers for Wilson this summer, provided they can recoup a suitable amount to help with their long-term financial planning and squad building. Then, in a move that further bolsters Newcastle United's burgeoning youth project, the club has announced the signing of 16-year-old left-sided centre-back Aaron Abiel, who has joined the Magpies after leaving Everton. Born in 2008, the highly rated defender has already represented the Polish national team and is also eligible to play for England and Nigeria, showcasing his diverse international pedigree. Abiel's decision to make the switch to Newcastle United comes as the club continues to focus on building a strong foundation for the future, with a keen eye on unearthing and developing young talent. The addition of the versatile centre-back to Newcastle's youth setup is the latest sign of the club's commitment to its long-term vision, as they look to cultivate a pipeline of promising players who can potentially make the step up to the senior squad in the years to come. While details of Abiel's contract have not been disclosed, this move is expected to provide the youngster with a platform to further hone his skills and potentially work his way into the first-team reckoning at St James's Park in the future. Newcastle's investment in their youth development program has been a key part of the club's strategy since the recent change in ownership, and the acquisition of Aaron Abiel is another step in this ongoing process. As the Magpies continue to bolster their squad and challenge at the top end of the Premier League, the successful integration of promising young talents like Abiel will be crucial in ensuring the club's long-term sustainability and competitiveness. Then moving on, Bruno Guimaraes' £100 million release clause recently expired. Fabrizio Romano on Bruno Guimaraes also said Bruno Guimaraes is not even entertaining talks with any clubs right now. It would be extremely surprising and shocking if he was to leave Newcastle this summer. Nothing is happening. There are no negotiations at all on club or player side. This is brilliant news for Newcastle for sure. So it seems Bruno isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
What are your personal ambitions for Newcastle?
I would like to put my name in the club story, and this is my goal here, is put my name in the club story. I have my inspiration here in Alan Shearer. He put his name in the club story. I just want to do the same.
Then finally, if you would want to know the devastating Sandro Tonali update that may change Newcastle's upcoming season, click the video link on screen now.